is such a busy time of the year that I wanted to bring you guys one of my favorite hacks, especially in winter when we start to have extra makeup products around. And that's because we change shades of foundation from winter to summer, from summer to winter, back and forth. So today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite hacks this time of the year, and let's put some foundation on this face. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Jody. I'm 55, and think of me as your midlife beauty bestie, where we are just discovering this aging process, and we are gracefully walking the aging journey together. Well, sometimes. Sometimes not. Sometimes it depends on what I woke up looking like that morning. If there's a dark hair here, if the jowls are sagging, then no, that's not a graceful moment for me. In fact, let me know if you guys feel the same way. I won't go down this rabbit hole because I do get a lot of comments that I talk too much. So I won't veer off too far on this one. But as of late, let me know if it's just me, and if it is, that's fine too. But while you're in the shower, as you're washing, do you look at parts of your body and don't recognize it to be you? I'm having those moments lately. Like I'll be washing my arms and I'll notice there's just more saggy skin right here, and I see it, but it doesn't feel like it's on me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's not what my arm looks like in my head. So it's just this weird process of accepting what our body is looking like, even though it doesn't feel like it's my body when I look at it. You know what I mean? It's just weird. So that's why I focus on from the neck up, because I can add makeup and change the way it looks, and not so easy to do with the rest of the body. So if that's why you're here, you're in good company. If you don't have contouring makeup, whether it's a contouring powder or a contouring cream, no worries. Many people have different shades of foundation depending on the time of the year. In summer, you typically will go with the darker foundation because you have more tanning areas. And then in the winter, we drop down a shade or two to the lighter side because we are not in the sun as much. So now's a good time to grab both of those foundations, and we're going to use them together to give ourselves a contoured natural look. So I'm going to use the Complexion Crush by Ulta. This is a neutral medium. I absolutely love this one. I rocked it all summer and already have one ready to go as soon as the sun starts to peak again. And then I have the Maybelline Superstay 30 Hour. The reason I chose these two is because I have a lot of different foundations because I test them for my career. But these are both semi-matte. That's why I'm using these two together. You probably have the same finish and formula in your foundations because you use those year round. That's why I'm choosing these two. I really wanted to use something with this, and this is again a natural soft matte finish, so it's the same finish. I could certainly pair this with the Plump and Glow that I just recently reviewed. It is more of a hydrating foundation, and where I want to put the lighter foundation is where I would need some more hydration, but I don't want to confuse you today. So just grab the foundations that you have if you have a lighter one and a darker one. I already have moisturizer and a hydrating primer on my face. Now what I'm going to do is just take the darker of the shades, and for me that is the Complexion Crush by Ulta, and I'm just going to place that where I would normally place my contour. So for me, it is on my forehead. You can go in the similar areas if you've got a receding hairline like I do. And then I also want to put a little bit along the jawline because I want this jowl right here to not look like it drops. So a little bit right through there on both sides. Not really rubbing it in. I'm just sort of putting it there with my finger so you can see where it is. Now you would also want to put just a little bit maybe on the side of your nose, something like that. Again, we're not really blending. And then if you want to create cheekbones, find your cheekbone with your finger, roll your finger right below your cheekbone, and that's where you want to put your contour. Because my cheekbones are already sticking out and I want to minimize the look, I'm going to put that contour right on the cheekbone. Again, this is different placement depending on your face structure. If you've got pronounced cheekbones like I do and you want to pull them in a little bit and look a little less skeletal, contour goes right on top of the highest point of the cheekbone. If you want to create a cheekbone, then again you'll put it, I'll do it on this side just so you can see, then you'll put it under your cheekbone, bringing it right to about the corner of your eye. I'm going to take that off or else my face will look lopsided and we won't really know why. Now you're going to take your lighter foundation, and for me this is that Maybelline, and I'm going to put a couple dots where I want a little bit lighter which is always, as we mature, right through the center of the face. And then one just right in the center of the forehead. Where you put the lighter foundation on your forehead is going to be somewhat different for all of us, but we do want to pay attention to this because as we get older and we lose the collagen and our face starts to sag, the bone, the eye bone, that brow bone starts to look a little bit more pronounced. And if you put a lighter, brighter foundation, concealer, anything in this area, it's going to make this brow bone look more forward. So you really don't want to put too much of a lighter color across this whole forehead area. You just want to highlight this very center of your face. We'll bring that down the nose, center of the chin, and then I like to go right through here. Next, you'll take your foundation brush. This is the BK Beauty 101 Contour Foundation Brush, and I like to go to the outer perimeters first. So right around that jawline while I've got that darker foundation, right up through the hairline, pushing it into the hairline so there's no demarcation between the hairline and your actual face. Carry that darker color around the perimeter of my face, a little bit on the nose where we contoured. Then I will go back up to the forehead where we have the lighter foundation and just lightly tap that in and tap in everywhere else. And one of the reasons that I like this foundation contour brush is because see how that angle allows you to get right up under your eye. So if you're in a hurry and you don't wear concealer every day and you want to just put your foundation right up under your eye, this brush makes it really easy to do that. Or if you do wear concealer, this brush makes that easy as well. And you can see we're just taking and pouncing that foundation. With this brush, it makes it easy. You don't have to do a lot of extra blurring, just a little bit of a quick little turn of the hand while you're tapping and moving that foundation out around your skin. Now you can use your concealer here. I'm just gonna go back in with this 30 hour because it is a thicker formula, and tap it as my concealer, paying special attention to the inner corner of my eye. And then bringing that lighter color up through the temples where we tend to lose some volume, and it does have a bit of a aging effect to the face when you see a face that curves in right through this temple area. In fact, a lot of people will put fillers in this area. I'm just afraid of fillers in my face, so I don't. But I know many women do and really are happy with the results. So if you're somebody that likes fillers or are not happy with the way this caves in, then that might be an option to explore for you. Then we'll just add a little bit of blush. This is the Persona blush in Caramel that I've been absolutely loving. I'm just gonna put it right here. And then I think I'm gonna add a little bit to my lips. Blend that in. I really like the look of bringing this blush up around the temple of my cheek. I know it's been a trend for a couple years with the younger women, and I thought it looked a little bit, I don't know, a little bit too much for me, but as of late, I've liked the warmth that it gets as long as it's not too bright of a color. This blush gives that soft, natural glow from within, pink, peachy look. And that's it. A simple, easy, fast way to give your face a little bit of contour and structure. Now, if you don't have two different shades of foundation, maybe you don't switch from a darker shade in the summer to a lighter shade in the winter, no problem. Look for a brown eyeshadow that is a little bit to the gray or cool brown side versus too warm to give yourself that same contour look. And what I mean by that is notice this color right here is more of a cool tone. This would make a really pretty contour. If I was wanting to bronze my skin and really warm it up as though I've been out in the sun, then you'll want to go for a brown shadow that is more this color. But bronzing in the winter, if you live in an area that's not always sunny, can look a little bit too, I don't want to say off-putting or weird, but it just doesn't look real natural because you're not out in the sun if you live somewhere that has a traditional snowy, rainy winter. Again, we're looking for contour today, and the contour is more of that gray brown. So if you don't have the different shades of foundation, then you might have a shadow that is somewhere in this neutral to cool palette. That makes a really pretty contour. All right, you guys, that does it for me. I hope you have the most wonderful time during the holidays with your family. I'll still be posting a little bit here and there, but you won't see my normal 2 videos per week during the holidays. But be sure that you're subscribed and hit that notification so that when I do post a video, you are notified. One of my regular viewers reached out to me recently and said, gosh, I haven't seen you for a while. Where have you been? Well, the YouTube algorithm is changing all the time. So the best way to be sure that you get my videos served up to you when I post a new one is to subscribe and hit that notification bell. So you don't think I'm missing in action. I'm here with you every step of the way, all year long. If you've got something special coming up between now and New Year, be sure to check out this video on a glam look that you might love. I'll see you in just a couple days. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.